Peter, I'm kind of getting to a point where I don't even know how to ask my questions anymore because, none of them seem to articulate what I'm experiencing. But it's very clear to me that awareness is, and this is all awareness, and I that's very clear to me, and I feel that. What I have trouble with is the phenomena that's happening in that awareness, and the phenomena is it seems to be manipulative, and it pulls me and pushes me, and that's where I get all caught up. But I still feel this awareness, so I'm kind of at a loss as to, I know that, it's an effortless, process.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm stuck or if I'm going forward or.
No, you're fine. Okay, here's how it works. Okay, so the phenomena are present. Okay, they make no sense. They appear as a byproduct of the presence of awareness in these various patterns, which are constantly changing. They never resolve into anything. They never fall into a coherence and start to make sense. They just move from one unstable configuration to another unstable configuration to another unstable configuration endlessly. And you're getting sucked into them or not is just more phenomena, which also is a byproduct of awareness, moves from one unstable configuration to another unstable configuration to another unstable configuration endlessly, because the awareness is here and does that, shows up as that. So that's all. So it doesn't, again, you don't need to make sense of it. You don't need to not get sucked into it. Because you never find stability, right? Phenomena are never stable. Your stance with regards to them is never stable. Sometimes you're sucked into them, sometimes you're not, sometimes, it's all just, because that's just more phenomena, so of course it's not stable.
So the mind is wanting to kind of like rest someplace if there's any place.
Yeah, there's no rest. Because there's nothing but, in phenomena there's unending dynamism.
Yeah.
And the rest is the unendingness of the dynamism. It's like going to the beach and wanting the waves to stop. It's never going to happen. The waves just keep coming. They keep coming forever and ever and ever. As long as there's earth, there will be waves moving. And that is the peace. The peace is a dynamic peace. It's not a static peace. It's not a removal from the moving of the waves. It's like the peace of that is doing itself. It doesn't need to be different. It's absolutely okay. The peace is in the okayness. The peace is in that it doesn't need to be different, and that it's doing itself, so it requires nothing from you. It's not your responsibility. You didn't make it, so it's not your job to fix it or sort it out. You didn't put this phenomena here, so it's not your job to make sense of it. You didn't put your psychology here, so it's not your job to make sense of that. It's all just this crazy jumble that is just doing itself, just like the waves in the ocean are just this arbitrary forces of, the tides of the gravitational force of the moon and, whatever. It's just a big accident, it's a big coincidence. And all of these phenomena are just sort of byproducts of that. So it's no harm, no foul. It's not your job, it's not your responsibility. So, and that is the peace. The peace is the okayness of this crazy chaos doing itself unendingly. Because it's doing itself. So it doesn't demand any input. It doesn't demand any support. You don't need to feed it. And contrarily, you don't need to solve it or stop it either.
Yeah. Okay.
What's interesting that somehow this created some sort of fantasy that there was this option of, standing still.
Yeah, right. I mean, what a fallacy! I was.
That's what everybody's seeking.
I know, it's so silly. I was standing in a magazine rack today, and I saw some Buddhist magazines, and the headline, it was like Tricycle or something, one of these Buddhist magazines, and the Tricycle, the headline was something like, finding inner stillness. And I thought, yeah, that's going to happen. No wonder all these Buddhists are Buddhists for life, sitting in meditation. They're looking for the impossible.